Hello and welcome back for our last match with Astral Slide. I'm on the play, and we have Punishing Fire and Grove of the Burn Willows, so gonna keep this hand and hope that our opponent has cards that lose to Punishing Fire and Grove of the Burn Willows. So, as we've sort of seen, what land you lead off on is actually fairly important, but here we have three different copies of the card Taiga. It's just that two of them happen to have a special activated ability, wherein, it's a little worse than Taiga. So, we wanted to play Taiga first to see if they would wasteland us, is basically what's going on. Well, this is getting Punishing Fired. And then we have Astral Slide and the ability to rebuy Punishing Fire with our second Grove of the Burn Willows, which is cool. So, how about that? And then cast Tybalt, and probably discard our Eternal Witness. Discard our Cycling Land, close. God, my kingdom for a brainstorm right now. Seriously, just like... Draw and discard Mox Diamond. I'll accept it. We will play Wasteland and cast Eternal Witness, getting back this Secluded Step. And then we can slide it out whenever we need to, or want to. I just didn't want to, slide it out on our turn, since Verdant Catacombs represents Lightning Bolt mana. I'm happy just, moving in here. Okay. So, draw yet another Punishing Fire, discard redundant Tybalt. This is an odd sort of grindy affair. I'm not really sure who's supposed to be favored, but it's probably the person with the more powerful cards, so my opponent, because they have Liliana and we have Terminus and Entreat the Angels in hand. But unlike a normal Terminus and Treat the Angels deck, we don't exactly have ways to get them back into our deck. Cool. Well, at least they drew a card that is flat out dead. So, yeah, the thing that I wonder about is, are we supposed to like play the secluded step or cycle it, or and I guess we already have one in the graveyard, so that makes our life a little easier. Sundial of the Infinite, hopefully we can like get them with at some point. It protects itself from Abrupt Decay on our turn quite well. So we're going to regrow Punishing Fire at the end of our opponent's turn and be at more or less parity. I think the thing that I've learned about just like the way to build decks moving forward is to just include a bunch of like dumb idiots that can steal games. And upstairs on Liliana until it dies. Gave him a free life point for no reason since we had 2 non-grove red sources, but we're already too far down the path of just like playing loose as hell to feel much about it. Okay, well, that's bad for us. Let's play a game. The game is... Oh, we should have gotten back Eternal Witness. It doesn't really matter. Like, our Witness slide engine is... like, pretty colded by their Grove. No thanks. Well, they've successfully killed an Eternal Witness. How does our deck win? I don't even know how our deck is supposed to win from here. In the future, I'm going to just, like, not care about True Name Nemesis and play, like, a bunch of Exalted Angels or whatever. Because, like, this is pretty egregious. I think we might just, like, not have a way to win. Which is, obviously, like, pretty bad. Fortunately, we get to run the, like, adorable interaction of slide out Tarmogoyf and end the turn with Sundial. So we can live that dream. Get out, Tarmogoyf. You're not welcome around these parts. But yeah, as it turns out, Liliana, quite good. Cycling, land. Yes! Get it. Okay. Nope. Okay. We're assembling quite the collection of things over here. So they're willing to just fire off their Liliana. Color me interested. Armageddon versus Triple Vindicate. I will select this pile to sacrifice. The arrow pointing to like this exact part of the board is very cute. Also very cute. Scroll rack with no cards in hand. Dear Lord. Well, our deck did its thing. It had its moment in the sun. But, yeah, this is egregious. So, on the upside, Sundial killed, you know, $300 worth of cards. Well, $200. I'll be real. $200 worth of cards. In conjunction with Astral Slide. We're not going to come close to winning a match, but not all decks can be good, and Astral Slide is not a good deck in Legacy. It's a good adventure. I'll give it credit for being a good adventure. Okay, we can actually like play Magic again. Hot damn. Nope, and nope. Okay, well, upstairs. Yes, I would. No ultimate, please and thanks. all credit to Tybalt for milling one card off the top of our deck. Oh. Okay. Well, apparently we can win if we draw a Life from the Loam. As it turns out, the most powerful card in our deck is the card that we want to draw the most, and the least powerful card in our deck is the card we want to draw the least. And this card is, like, over here. Life from the Loam's over here. The ways that we win the games are like this. The way that we, like, mess around until we get killed are these. And as you might imagine, these cards played by legacy decks, these cards not played by legacy decks. So Grafdigger's Cage doesn't do much against Jund. They're not blue. They don't really have artifacts and enchantments that we care about. We might as well get some Plow Unders in here. Just get them. I don't even... Forget about it, man. I just want to plow someone under. Jesus. Well, don't Thoughtseize Momox Diamond. And well, this one sure is interesting. I don't think that... Yeah. That's gonna happen, and that's fine. I don't think that our hand really allowed for doing anything but that. Jesus Christ. Well, okay then. You've made your point. I don't think our hand allowed for doing anything but that, and hoping that they didn't have a black source. Yes, I'd like to reveal it. We certainly aren't... Jesus. We certainly aren't doing anything this game, so... It also feels like we're getting, like, unreasonably mana screwed for playing a 31 mana source deck. But that could be my natural tendency to notice when things are going even slightly poorly. So, basically I just think that this deck is a very low power level. I mean, of the cards played here, like, the ones that are played in Legacy are these, and they're played because of Brainstorm. The rest of these are not popular Legacy cards, and there are reasons for that. And I think that, like, this is about as reasonable of an Astral Slide deck as exists. Like, I don't think that you could make it beat Abrupt Decay anymore, or make it, you know, draw lands better. Like, I don't think you're going up to, like, 32 mana sources, or 33 or 34. I think that like at the point where you're like becoming a more dedicated life from the loam strategy, you could very reasonably just be a red-green lands deck, right? You have like loam punishing fire wasteland, you know, maybe have some cycling lands, maybe have some seismic assaults if you really wanted to, but like you don't need them. At the end of the day, like Astral Slide is a fun card. You know, we got to exile Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant forever with Sundial of the Infinite, but like it is not objectively or contextually powerful. And I'm certainly happy to like do this for you guys, but you guys are this is what y'all get when you vote for Astral Slide is this. So I would I don't know. I would ask that you guys keep doing exactly what brings you the most joy in this world, and I will do the same. But Jesus Christ, we're not going back to Astral Slide. This is something else. We'll get the Seismic Assault in here. But yeah, for a format with such good mana, this deck has like really, really bad mana. And it's not because like, you know, it has to, but Astral Slide just doesn't have any good cycling cards. And if you guys want to be like, oh, well, you could play like Fluctuator and like the 2 mana cycling cards, then at that point you should really just be playing a Fluctuator deck where your kill is something that looks at the like 40-ish cards that are in your graveyard, all with cycling too, and says like, oh, well, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff in your graveyard, now they're dead. Like, there are cards like that in Magic's history. Like, I think it's Song of the Damned. Songs of the Damned. Sure. Yeah, so like this. And then you, I don't know, you do something, and then they die. But, like, if you're playing Astral Slide, you're playing like some creature control deck where you're like trying to grind things out by like little bits and pieces, and I feel like Legacy exploits decks like that regularly, and it does so just on the basis of raw power level. Like, if you don't touch their Liliana for a while, like, it kills you. If you don't touch their Jace for a while, it kills you. If you don't touch their Thopter Foundry for a while, it kills you. If you don't touch their Batterskull, it kills you. Stoneforge Mystic, dead. Delver, dead. Like, there is something to be said for the hyper efficiency of this format. And the reason why I try not to put, like, egregiously high mana cards on the poll is because like you don't actually want to see me try to cast like a 5-mana spell. Like it gets spell pierced all the time, and yeah, it's just like a bad experience for everyone because it's like, man, I can't wait to see 5-mana spell X resolve, and like either it resolves and does nothing, or it gets countered, or you die before it happens, and like those happen regularly. So like even stuff like I don't know Mishra Artificer Prodigy, which will be back on the ballot at some point, but like if you guys want to see that, what's going to happen is, we're going to like have a lot of fun with Hypocrisite for like 2 games out of the 4 matches, and we're going to like get crushed by Wasteland, and I don't know. It could be sweet, but the higher up the mana curve you go, the less likely it is that your card does anything. Which is why, in true Legacy style, like curves of decks stop at like 2 or 3. And so like playing Astral Slide is this card that starts playing Magic on turn 4. And what it does is it casts Flicker, which is a 2-mana spell from Urza Saga. And so like that is not the most powerful thing that you're doing in this format, right? Like for the same 4 mana, like 3 for Astral Slide, 1 from the cycling land, you could play Jace the Mind Sculptor. And instead of like flickering their creature, you could make them pick it up and still have 2 counters on the best Planeswalker of all time. And so like that's your trade-off against the format, is like you are consciously choosing to play these cards, and there has to be a payoff. And I entirely acknowledge that I might have missed it, but I think that this deck, the reason why it hasn't done well in this session is because like there just aren't a ton of payoffs for playing the card Astral Slide. And to be sure, like the deck is sweet in like any objective sense, but sweet and good are often very different. Regardless, our opponent seems to be AFK, so I'll bring you back when they do. And we are back. Our opponent has also kept, and we get to kick things off. So our hand doesn't really care about anything so long as we draw another land for this Life from the Loam against his Wasteland. Fortunately, we draw a fetch land, so we can't be double wastelanded off of our lands. And even better, we get to have Mox Diamond for the maximum value allowed by the game. Mox Diamond and Life from the Loam are like the core of this deck's nutty openers. And the rest of it sort of plays like a cube deck, for those of you who are curious about how this works. So like Jesus. Well, this Seismic Assault is going to be pretty alright. Nope, not like that it isn't. this point, we don't really care what they do, as long as they don't have something that takes out our graveyard. What a jerk bag. Okay. Well, back on the plow them under plan. Oh, no. I wanted to get that life from the loan back. Okay. Plow under. Witness, P-Fire, Witness. Play this. And for our sake, I hope he cascades into a creature. Not a Liliana of the Veil. Surgical Extraction. Okay. Well, all of our cards have gone away. Things were looking so good when we had Loam Assault. Now we don't have Loam Assault. Things aren't looking so good. I was really looking forward to playing like just one game where we got to like job someone with life from the loam from like the beginning to the end of the match. But that is not to be. And I can accept that. Table terminus. We are not incidentally going to miracle this terminus. Okay, now we are. And then revive Punishing Fire. Send it upstairs. And so the top of our deck is Terminus and then Tybalt. Huh. So things not looking good from Star Runner. Fortunately, our Tybalt seems to be acting as a healing solve, which is good. We need the time. I'm not really sure like where we're going with the time, but we absolutely need it. So, we're sort of treading water here. Trying to, grind our opponent out. We would like to redirect, and I guess we'll play this. We are very far behind on the life race that comes with playing the Punishing Fire Mirror. And that will probably do it. I mean, we'll play it out because we owe it to ourselves to see if we can, like, steal this one. But I predict death in about 10 turns. The reason that we're still interested in plussing it is that we have Eternal Witness in our deck. And so, milling ourselves has value. Tybalt, it turns out, uniquely poor against Liliana of the Veil. Well, Jesus, this thing's gonna end things right away. Okay, entreat the angels. They summon you. Let's not entreat the angels. So, replicating scroll rack, alright. So we have been vanquished. I'm not sure that there's a whole lot more to say about the Astral Slide deck that I haven't already said, but I would strongly recommend significantly changing it before trying to take it to a tournament. If you do, I wish you the best of luck, and as always, please let me know how you do. I will be back next week with some invitational preparation for all of those of you who are going. I will not be in attendance, but I would love to help any and all of you prepare. Until then.